NHL Night with your host, the sports, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Perlo, Wisdom, and Rico and Barry.
What's up, everybody? I am the aforementioned Jeremiah Maxwell, a.k.a. the Sports Beard. With me, as always, maybe Perlo, Wisdom, Rico, and Barry. Our friend, the degenerate Bostonian, as I like to call him, Mike. And obviously, here we go. We got occupants here too. Oop, my bad. Didn't mean to go solo. Appreciate y'all, you guys. And Rico's cat. My dogs will surely make an appearance here. My wife's not home. So it's over in 7. Will anybody remember the Edmonton Oilers' valiant comeback? I think it gets lost in the sauce. I think McDavid will never forget it, right? Conn Smythe. What say you? Mr. Perlo Wisdom, let's start with you. You're there in Edmonton. How are the vibes? I'm sure everybody was pretty down in the dumps on a Tuesday after they lost.
Yeah, they were, but I most people here, they just talked about how they were proud of them to come back the way they did. And there's still a lot of belief in them. So if they would have lost like in 5 or something, I think it would have been more difficult for people. But for them to do what they did, it seems like people are still optimistic. So
you think that them losing in 7 games was better, huh?
I do.
I think it would have been easier on the fans. Austin, Daniel Barry, thank you always for. I think it would be easy for the family to, for the fans to lose earlier, just to be like, we're not ready next year. We got it, if they lose in 5 or whatever. But I mean, the thing is that Edmonton looks so good in 4, 5, and 6. Well, I mean, 6. My hot take, which I will save for you guys, Rico. We talked a little bit about this yesterday on the Twitter Spaces. We had a Twitter Spaces. I know occupancy, you were able to listen a bit. Mike, I know you probably didn't know. Rico, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I was just happy, like the competitiveness, going on recency bias. Like last year's Stanley Cup final was just absolutely horrendous to watch. So, I mean, apart from the Stanley Cup final going win, 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 win for each team and going right to 7, I mean, the Oilers put themselves in a real hoopla going down 3-0. Like there's almost a little chance, even though it took 7, but man, what an emotional game. Like it's been a while since I've watched a hockey game and dissected every single play, watched every single second, was so invested in it. It was unbelievable. I'm thinking Edmonton could probably run this exact same team back next year, minus maybe 1 or 2 guys here and there. But I think their window is open for quite a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see who leaves Florida as well, too. I know there's a couple guys you may not see back there, but I mean, listening to fan reaction, watching stuff all day. The kick of my day that I love the most is all the videos coming out about the Stanley Cup and the Panthers pouring it off the roof at the Elbow Room to Matthew Tkachuk and Bennett swimming with it in the ocean. Like that was my favorite part of today, is just watching the aftermath videos of the guys enjoying the cup, and hopefully it's in one piece by the time the parade happens on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely living it up there, and it's not like they have to go to a destination. Mike, what do you got?
I mean, I had 4 and 6. I'm sad, but it was. I don't know. I'm torn. I thought Bob played great. I was entertaining. I think Rico hit the nail on the head. Last year sucked. Let's give Florida credit for making it 5 games last year or whatever it was. But this was fun to have an actual entertaining Stanley Cup. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, to get a game 7, to have it 2-1, I totally agree. Occupancy, did you think that was a great game? I thought game 7 was a great game.
Yeah, definitely. Wasn't game 5 last year like 7-1 or something crazy? It was just kind of a...
Yeah, there was no drama.
Yeah. No, this was a major upgrade. Kind of echoing what's already been said. It's cool to see the Cup kind of going around Florida, there, and really, really happy for Barkov. First Finnish captain to ever win the cup, I think, is a big deal. There's a couple posts you could see the game-winning goal through the Finnish broadcast, which is just kind of fun. I posted that on X. But no, I mean, watching that goal too, Sammy Reinhart's game winner, Kulikov making this great play in the net here. I mean, I've seen this play 10 times already. So just good to see kind of, the Panthers kind of get it together. I think they're obviously the favorite going into it. And I mean, they hit the 3-game losing streak, but as we know, it's hard to lose or win 4 in a row. So good to see Florida come back. And a lot for, Paul Maurice, it's first win for him in 2,000 NHL games plus. So nice to see him get it. And Luongo as well. The whole ownership and management staff too. I think they've been working really hard to get this. So, so I'm happy for Florida here.
Do we feel bad for Perry? I do a little bit. Does anyone else feel bad for him?
I can't, because of what happened against the Maple Leafs when I thought levied a pretty dirty play to John. Who's the captain of the Leafs? Tavares, sorry. And just thought, that series goes the Toronto's way. I don't know. Here's our friend Drew P. Dick. Okay. Nice name, Drew. Appreciate you. Way to go, Florida.
The Montreal Canadiens team had no business making the finals, though. Let's face it.
Yeah, that's very true. Montreal, way to go, Florida. Ed fan, I think we lost it in game 2. Congrats. I'm glad you witnessed that. Witnessed the fan base. The Edmonton fan base was awesome. I'm wearing the Florida jersey, not a Florida fan. I just I went to the game this year and got a couple swags. In fact, it's so warm and high here. We're gonna shed it. We're gonna shed it. You can see I've been getting some sun, bro, out on the lake as much as I can. So we got the modified spin. Did you guys see RRA get pigeon tossed by Keith and Matthew Kachuk on Twitter? That was funny, man. He was like, "Hey, buddy, what's up?" And they're like, "Get the fuck out of here! You've been rooting for the Oilers." Sorry, I think I should have had my microphone here too. Hopefully, it's not too loud. I thought that was funny, even though I love RA. But I think RA, in fairness to RA, I think RA got himself a girlfriend in Edmonton, and you're gonna go with your girlfriend's team. I get it. Like, if this had been the Rangers and a team I had bet money on, I would have to root for the Rangers because of my wife. So, okay. Real quick, Hockey Hall of Fame announcements. I just wrote down the men players. There's other people getting in. There's some female players too. I'll let Rico and Perlo talk about those ladies because I believe they're both Canadian. Pavel Datsyuk, Jeremy Roenick, and Shea Weber. I was surprised Shea Weber a little bit, but thoughts. I mean, Jeremy Roenick was a shock too. I'm happy for him. Yep, no Mogilny, and no Rod Brindamore. Yeah, no Rod Brindamore. I think Rod Brindamore is not going to get it. I think they've determined that he wasn't a good enough player. But I mean, I disagree. But it's the Hall of Fame, so Mogilny should get in. I mean, he's one of how many players to score? Didn't he score like 80 or 70? He's got a cup too, but his career numbers and just how he came over, he's kind of one of the original guys that defected, him and Fedorov. I mean, I'd love to see a comparison to Fedorov and Mogilny. I really, really would. So, and then NHL draft is Friday. So Wanted to ask you guys, did you want to do a live stream for that draft? I don't know the time.
I am. Regardless of whether you guys are, I will be on live for that. Sure.
Okay, well, let's just do one as a group. What time is the draft start? Does anybody know?
It's afternoon. Friday in the afternoon, which is because it's Canada Day here, so everybody will be off, but everybody's going to be doing Canada Day stuff. So it's going to be, I think it's the afternoon. Maybe they will have it in the evening this year. Maybe they will.
Well, for you and me, Perlo, it's for you and me, it might be a little bit earlier because we're on the and for occupancy too, because we're on the left coast here. I'm trying to look here. 3 p.m. my time. So 7. That makes it 7 Ricos. And
okay,
Mike.
So it is going to be in the evening.
So,
Good.
Well, so for you, Perlo, it'd be like 5. And for occupancy, it'd be like 4. Occupancy, I'm guessing you won't be making it.
I might be able to actually make it. I
Okay.
got a modified work schedule this week, summer.
Okay.
Fridays. Yeah.
So speaking of the draft, Avi's in the chat. He says NHL Draft Friday. Let's go Bruins. Trash of trades of Olmark. Nothing back really. 25th pick. Who knows? So here's the thing. I did understand that a lot of Bruins fans didn't think they got much. Olmark didn't sign an extension with it. He's got 1 year. They just bought a player for Kostelic and a first rounder and Eunice Korpisalo, who they retained on, who has like 4 years left on his deal. And I think Eunice Korpisalo will be a decent backup for the Boston Bruins, given their defensive system. So, Avi, I don't think that's the worst trade in the world for the Bruins either. And you get a pick, your own pick back from a couple years back. But like Perlo and Rico and I talked about yesterday, I was surprised Chychrun was not involved. I kind of thought Boston would be in him. Mike, I'm curious to think. You're our Boston guy. You're a Bruins fan. What do you think of Avi's assessment of the trade?
My first reaction was spot on with him. Like, I thought we got hosed. I read into it a little more. We need a big centerman. We need a guy that can win draws.
Elias Lindholm. Elias Lindholm. Hot take hockey keeps saying Elias Lindholm.
There's a lot of people out there that can win a draw better than everything we had up the middle last year. But, we got a guy that's 6'4", 226 pounds. We need that. And I've been saying, I'm drooling about a college kid that's 6'3", 210. So I got 6'4", 226. I'll take it in terms of size. In terms of the 25th pick, I hope we get Dean Latois from St. Andrews. He'll be playing for the Boston College Eagles next year. He's supposed to be the Gauthier replacement. And I hope we grab him with our 25th pick. And I think if we get him, I don't think we keep what's this guy? This Mark guy too long, but
hey,
I think we can make it work.
Well, Kostelic is a scrapper, and I think that you guys are probably going to lose Trent Frederick to free agency. So I think you'll keep Kostelic just as your enforcer guy, whether he's up and down from the AHL or whatever.
And I'm not knocking Frederick. I actually love the guy.
No, I got you, but I don't think they'll be able to.
He's tiny. No, but he's tiny.
Yeah.
He'll go and try to nail someone in the corner, and half the time guys don't react.
I know he's a St. Louis kid. I heard maybe he might be looking to go back there. So real quick, who is the guy you wanted him to draft again? I'm so sorry.
Dean Letourneau. He plays at St. Andrews right now. He's going to go to Boston College next year.
Okay.
He's projected to fall into like the 40th pick, so I'm hoping we kind of pull on him a little bit. But the other guy I was hoping we grab was Cole Bowden. He's in the OHL right now. And he was supposed to go the 30th pick. So those are kind of the two guys I was hoping we'd grab.
Okay. So Darkness says, I'm so confused on Stevie Y with the Wallman trade. Perlo, you have a take on this. I didn't see the trade until he just did it. They got Wallman in a second round pick. I can only assume that he's trying to shed salary to make it free agent signings, maybe Kane, potentially, whatever. Why didn't you Wallman had a pretty decent year, 21 points, 12 goals, 9 assists. in 63 games while averaging almost 20 minutes for the Red Wings. Perlo, give us your assessment on that trade since you had a take in the chat.
I'm dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded by a lot of the things that Stevie Y has done. He's my favorite human male that ever lived until he became a general manager. Wallman's
Is he hit that reefer a little too hard in his off time there for you, Perlo?
Wallman's underlying. I thought I just looked to see if he was a free agent and he's going to ask for too much money or something. I don't. He must. I don't. I'm speechless. That's an absolutely horrid trade. He was basically their best defenseman last year. He was. I have no idea what happened there. Yeah, I'm with him. I can't even come up with a concept that makes sense. That
well, for future considerations too. So it's definitely a salary dump. He just must be having a. I heard he was trying to move Rico, one of Rico's favorite defensemen, Justin Hall. Boy, wouldn't you love him back on? I would want him back on Toronto just for Hot Take Hockey's reaction only. So
I have to imagine he's going after a big free agent. I don't know who that would be.
Yep. And then I heard from a very reliable source that Brett Pesce is going to sign 6x6 with the New Jersey Devils.
I heard that too.
The Devils? Okay.
A good signing for the Devils.
Not bad, I suppose. But let me put it this way. I would take Wallman over Pesce.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that tells you how dumbfounded I am by this move. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm gonna go look at the free agency here and see who he might be going for. Like, what do you got? Like, I don't know. Brady Shea. I would take Wallman over Brady Shea. I don't know what to say. It's weird.
Andrew will answer that question in a minute. Chris Miller says, Brill, Abby going to be fun draft. Lots of options for teams to pick from these players. Yeah, I've also heard because of that combine, that Russian combine they did in Florida while the Stanley Cup was going on, that Demidov moved way up the charts and would not be surprised if Chicago took him number 2. I'll tell you what, man, and we're seeing this now. Like, you can't be afraid. Give me a second here. All right. Hopefully you didn't hear the dogs barking too much. J-Dub doesn't think Pesce is not worth 6.
No,
I believe he is. I think he's our resident Canes fan too. So, and Andrew, for the off season, we're going to still have shows. We're just not going to go every week. We'll just go every other week. And then there might be some time off. I'm assuming Rico's going to go on some vacation. I'm assuming Mike is going to go. Occupancy might be leaving the country, and Perlo, I'm sure you guys are going to take some time and do some stuff in the summer. You got to get out in the summer in Edmonton, right? So, Demidov and Lesh, super tough call for the Blackhawks could go. Is that Lev Zunov guy, the big defenseman? I keep hearing his name going high.
Yeah, the Belarusian.
Same difference.
Yeah.
I think I would take the Saliev over him myself personally, but they're both really good. Saliev reminds like some scouts that I really admire and are quite accurate. They've even used the word chara when describing Saliev. So,
is that the big guy? Okay, that's the really big guy.
6'7", yeah. Lashunov is more like, Heiskanen, which, can't go wrong with that either, but still, like, what would you rather have, Heiskanen or Chara? Personally, I would have Chara.
Yeah, it's a tough. Yeah, it's such a tough decision because it's such a fast game now. I know size is still a factor, but Yeah, I don't know. You can't coach size, right? You can't coach size. You're either born with it. You got it. And Murley's always going off about undersized defensemen not being a factor. You got to have the guy. Anton is a huge 6'7" guy from Russia. I don't like him really. He should fall. Okay, Avi doesn't like it. So I was actually hoping we'd have some more news, some trade stuff and stuff. But I did want to say real quick before we call it an evening here in a short episode. Really loved Paul Maurice this entire playoffs. Just thought he never lost his shit, kept his composure. I think that's why we saw Florida do what they did in Game 7. Nothing against Knoblauch. I did want to say this overtly, 2 criticisms. One, I believe the hockey gods won Game 7 for the Florida Panthers because of that chicken shit offside review fucking call. Do away with that bullshit. Because, like, if it's this fucking offsides, it ain't offsides. It's a joke. I'm over that shit. It's horrible. I thought that changed the dynamic of that whole game. And if anybody wants to say anything different, 3-2 with 5 minutes left to go would have changed a lot. And, in fact, it might have changed even more because that was very quickly in the second period. So the fact that it would have been 2-1, who knows how Florida would have reacted. And I just thought that call was I didn't like it. But I think that offsides review is my team sucks and we can't play hockey right now. So we're going to get bailed out by a fluky fucking play. I've never liked it in any game. I don't care if it goes in favor of my team or against my team. I hate it. And that's my stupid hot take on that. But the other thing is Maurice just doing I think he outcoached Knoblauch, and it showed in Game 7 when Knoblauch basically played McDavid and Draisaitl the final 8 minutes. And I said to my wife as I'm watching the game live, and I don't know if you guys thought this, I go, he's playing them too much. I go, your lines were playing good if you're Edmonton. You were getting good stuff from your other lines. And you've got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. You've got other guys that can play and if my opinion, shorten the shifts at the end of the game until you get to 3 minutes, and then you can let McDavid and Draisaitl run rampant. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, this is good, man. This is good. Vic Politian, I think I said that correct. He is the producer of Morning Cup of Hockey for Colby and Johnny Lazarus. Johnny's been on the show. I would have asked Colby on the show, Vic. You could tell him. I just didn't want to because I know he has a newborn, and I was like, man, Colby will be available for some college hockey stuff when me and Mike start doing some college hockey stuff. I'd like to get Colby on for that. So I did see what he said. I did also think it was just classy that he said he would love to see the Winnipeg Jets win. I mean, I understand he's going to want to win again, but his heart's in Winnipeg. He probably thought he had some competitive stuff. Vic, really cool to have you in, and thanks for watching via Twitter. Appreciate it, man. What a great guy. Vic's a Toronto guy, Rico. He's in your neck of the woods. So I shout out Morning Cup of Hockey, which comes on 9 Eastern, 5 a.m. For me, I watch it every day that I can. Of course, I watched it today. So Habs getting Caden at 5th. He's filthy. All right, Chris Miller, are you a Habs fan? That's awesome. He says Ivan to the Black Sox, but he thinks Leshunov is a beast from MSU. Yes, Did you see Leshunov play, Mike? I didn't watch any Michigan State games this year.
I saw him play twice when they came out to Lowell. And unfortunately, the game I go to, he got hurt in the second period.
Oh, okay.
He came back the next night, but I wasn't at that game the next night. So in the
you
period,
didn't get to see much of him play. Then
I saw him play for one period, and yeah, he got toasted. But it was like the first weekend of the season, so you're shaking off the bugs. And Lowell comes out hot with that student section. There's 5,000 kids jawing down your throat. So I'm not going to say I was impressed. I also only saw 6 minutes of him on the ice, so.
Yeah. No, you don't have anything to compare it to.
Yeah.
Our friend Darkness, Blues fan, says he wants the Blues to draft Adam Juracek at 16 if he was there. Yeah, I get that. I want Zeev Buyam. I really liked him, man. I thought, wasn't he a difference maker in the national championship, man? Just so good.
I got to remind me of that weekend. It was so
He's going to be
expensive.
top. He's going to be top 7.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Perlo. I think he's easily in the top 10. Yeah.
I was just looking. They have him going number 5. Zeeb
Buyam.
Yeah, they have him going 5.
A lot of people have him as high as 5. Yeah, a lot of people have him as high as 5. Yeah.
I'm curious to see Stephen Ellis's mock draft. That guy from Daily Save Faceoff, Stephen Ellis. I'd love to work on getting him on. He probably watches more hockey than all of us combined, and he watches, I think, everything but the NHL because he's such a scout guy. I'm real curious. Is there a player you guys are really? I mean, we all know Macklin Celebrini now. That's that. Before we go into that, before I ask you guys, is there a player you're really excited to see from this year's draft besides Celebrini? Does Celebrini go back to BU, Mike? Are we still leaning that way? You think so?
I actually just doubled down on my bet on that.
What are the odds for him to go back? Mike?
I originally got it at plus 130. I just doubled down at plus 185.
So they're saying he's going, and you're going against the grain.
I am going against it.
Yeah.
Simply where BU's already making moves so that he's handpicking his roommate, he's handpicking his dorm room, and they're putting it right next to the gym and the hockey rink for the kids. So he just waddles right out of the back alley, and he never has to leave the outside to get to the hockey rink from his dorm room. He just goes right into the weight room, right into the trainer.
Yeah.
Actually, he can get to the library too without going outside. And for those who are unfamiliar with Boston, it gets cold in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So that's huge for him. So that's why I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah. I think, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but, when he gets drafted, they're going to have the trainers, the coaching staff all kind of look at him. I'm sure he's got to do like a fitness test. He's got to, they're going to kind of tell him, like, I don't know, or is it really up to him? Or are they going to say,
so here's the other thing, but here's the other thing, though, Occupancy. Sorry to cut you off there. I apologize. But here's the other thing. He can play the whole season, burn a year, because let's say BU doesn't make the Frozen Four. He can burn a year and play the final week of the season. He's in a better situation to get a bigger payday. So it actually, in my opinion, benefits these college kids way more. We talked about this a little bit last night on Twitter Spaces, way more to stay in school and use that leverage you have with the team that drafted you. Now, I believe Celebrini, you're not going to have any problems signing with the Sharks. But, you only get to be 18 years old once. So,
Here's the thing.
I agree with – hold on, Perlo. I agree, Avi. I do think BU is going to be one of the best teams in the NCAA.
They are minus 195 to win it all right now.
Right. I get it. Yeah, especially if Celebrini comes back, right? I agree, man. And it'll be awesome. Mike, it'll be awesome. St. Louis will be awesome if we have Boston fans there. I think they're the best college hockey fans in the U.S., right there with North Dakota and Minnesota fans. They're good, man. Those fans show up in force at the Frozen Four. So, Perlo, go ahead and say what you were going to say.
It's actually Celebrini who says he's going back to Boston.
Look at that.
He wants to go back. He was the one that said he wants to go back one more year in Boston. So San Jose could say, I know you want to go, but we need you, I suppose. But
I know. I'll tell you what, Perlo. And if I'm a San Jose fan and I want to hear from Occupancy on this because you're there, if I'm San Jose, you're getting Will Smith this year. I think it's better to have one guy instead of trying to develop a whole team, but have the fewer the younger players on your team at a time, I think the better. So what do you think, Occupancy? Do you think that having Will Smith there this year and then Celebrini basically the next or the end of this year, a little bit better?
I truthfully don't know, and that's why I was asking. I get what you're saying with keeping you don't want too many young kids. I understand that. I think it comes down to a training and kind of fitness. Like, is he just going to get pushed around by by these NHL vets, by these guys, been doing it? Or, can he go and hit the gym for another 12 months, get a little bulkier? He's pretty light, right? I mean, he's not that big, right? Yet.
I did not think he was that big a guy, but he's pretty good two-way player, but he's going to struggle at the NHL.
Right. So that's where, year in. So I don't know. I mean, look, for the hype, I mean, it's better if it's better if he plays in the NHL. I mean, for the hype, you got a new coach, you got a couple new players, you got Gaudreau, you got Wallman, you got a couple new faces in, you got the number 1 pick. You kind of roll all that into the summer hype, get this kid up on a billboard, get him with Will Smith commercials. They're already doing Chipotle commercials. Celebrini's already got a Chipotle deal. I don't know if you've seen that or Will, these, and like, so for hype purposes, I'd say let him play, put him in the NHL. But for development in the long term, maybe we should go back to college.
For Mike's pocketbook, be you.
Honestly, he's not NHL size worthy. He's skilled. Yeah. I think the skills are there, but he's 18 and 3 days old.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to be 18 basically this entire college year, and then still be able to play, at the end of the season. I think so. It's going to be good, man. I'm excited that the likelihood is he's going back.
He's 6 foot 190, so he's actually got pretty good size. But
yeah, I mean that's Doug Gilman.
I think it just shows a lot of character that a kid like that would say, you know what, I want to make sure, and I want to go back and win in Boston, and I think it just shows a lot of character and a lot of maturity, because most kids would be like, they just want to get in and they want to play right away and all that kind of stuff like that. I think it shows a lot of maturity that he wants to go back to Boston for one more year, sort of like York did. York did it.
Yeah, wants to win a national championship. He wants to win a national championship.
Yeah, he hasn't finished what he started. So,
yeah. Okay, so this is Stephen Ellis's mock draft from Daily Faceoff. You can go to dailyfaceoff.com. There's Colby right there. He has Artem Levshinov, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to take Demidov because I truly think he's the second best player in this draft. But the sense around scout circles is Chicago will go with Levshinov, who fits a need in the system and isn't far away from playing in the NHL. Okay. He's got the scouts want a high-end defender size. He's right, shot D, right? Anaheim getting Demidov is what he has. He likes that. And then he has Tej Iginla going 4th. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is, again, Stephen Ellis's mock draft. Caden Lidstrom to the Montreal Canadiens. The Utah Hockey Club, Zane Parekh, right shot D from Saginaw. Ottawa Senators take Beckett Seneke. I think I said that right, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Oshawa. Did you see any of these guys play, Rico?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I don't know if you get a lot. You guys have OHL.
I've seen most of them play.
You saw this kid?
I think Zane Parekh is a little high myself. I mean, he's a great offensive defenseman, but he's got a lot of work to do. But who am I? I'm not the guy. I mean, these guys see these guys a lot more than me too. So it's hard to say.
Well, I hope Zeev Buium falls to the Seattle Kraken at 8, because if the Caps can't get him, which they ain't going to be able to, I would love it. Yeah, he's a beast, Avi. He was so good. Mike and I were at the Frozen Four. We saw it firsthand. So
I saw
very
it multiple times last year, and most of those games I just had to stop and just look in awe. When he wanted the puck, he got it, and it was special.
Sam Dickinson for the Calgary Flames and Kostas Helenius for the New Jersey Devils. Sabres drafting Carter Yakovichuk. Did I get that right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Berkeley Catton from the Spokane Chiefs. Minnesota Wild. He has Cole Eiserman going to the Sharks. Another BU guy, which would be really interesting if, because Celebrini, aren't they going to roommate together, Mike?
That's if Celebrini stays, that's going to be his roommate. That would be wild.
That'd be cool, man. And then to have them on the same team they're making BU West, right? Red Wings getting Go ahead.
No, that was it.
Okay. Yeah. If there's any guys here, the Capitals will always take a chance on a Russian. So Darkness doesn't like what the Blues. You don't like Liam Greentree if you be enraged. He goes, I'll be so enraged if we go forward at 16. Okay, yep, I got you, Darkness, but we'll see. Cole Eiserman to the Devils at 10, Avi says. So this is not my mock draft. This is Stephen Ellis's. I think he's one of the best guys. I think he's talking to people too. He works for Frank. So like he said, just if anything stands out here, we'll just go through the 32 here. If there's anybody.
I like Consta Helenius higher than what he has it. Consta Helenius is one of the best two-way centers in the draft. I like him higher. And I think I like him. Yeah, I like him higher. Like I like him a lot. I like him like 7. I like him better than Berkeley Catton. I like him better than Tija Ginla. I like him.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised to hear him be this high.
He's all over the place. It all depends on if you think he can be a center or not. If somebody thinks he's going to be a center, he'll go high. If they think he's going to be a winger, he'll drop down a bit.
Yeah. Crazy, man. I'm excited. Well, we'll be live at 3 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. Rico's. I'll send out the link and set it up. I'll do a promo. I'll get it going today. So we'll do a 4-day promo where we're advertising it, and we'll do the draft live, man. We'll do the draft live, at least the first round, and then I actually will be heading out the next day to go fishing. So this is what they've got. Yeah. They've got the Leafs drafting EJ Emery, right shot D from the U.S. National Development Program. The perfect fit for the Leafs, given they could really use a high-end, mobile, shutdown defenseman with size and shoots right in terms of pure defensive play. I don't know if there's a better option in this draft, and someone I could see the team trading up or down just to get because he has the makings of a rock-steady top 4. The North Dakota commit isn't too active on the score sheet, but he's difficult to play against, and you need that in this playoffs. Would you go for that, Rico?
All right, I would have took that the last probably 9 years.
So he dominated when he played against the college kids this year.
Yeah,
he had 2 very good games against Merrimack and Providence when the U.S. development team came out to play. So
okay,
I do like him. I didn't realize he was going to North Dakota, but I like him as a first rounder based off the 2 times I've seen him play.
Nice, Mike. I appreciate that. Adam Juracek at 24. I have heard rumors in the past that Adam projects to be better than his brother David. And I know we haven't really gotten to see what David's capable of in Columbus. But wow, to see that guy go 24th to the Colorado Avalanche. Where are you guys on Juracek?
Well, I don't think he's better than his brother. Okay. He's good. He's solid. If I had to take a player that reminds that like he projects to be, from what I've seen of him, is Gavrikov, somebody like that. Which nothing wrong with that.
No.
That would be-
Boston Bruins draft Jack Luchenko. I could see the Bruins banking on Luchenko's upside and banking on a center who could give them much needed boost. After putting up more than 50 assists this year, his vision and hockey IQ are worth getting excited about. Luchenko does an excellent job in extra space on the power play, working mainly as a distributor. Mike, where are you at here with a guy like Luchenko? You said you wanted.
I wanted Dean Latois or Cole Boat. I can't pronounce this. Bowden, Boydwan, or whatever it is.
This guy right here, Cole
Yeah,
Boudreaux.
I wanted him. He's my
Yeah,
second.
he hasn't gone. Go ahead. I
Yeah,
apologize.
he was. No, so he was good. Like I remember watching the World Championships. I liked watching him. When I saw Latois play, he played against the Tri-City Americans. He had a hat trick when I saw him, and it was just like, Jesus, this kid's unreal. So that's why I don't know much about what the guy he's predicting based off what he's telling me. Yay. We need centermen. If we had 100 picks, I hope we draft 100 centermen and pray to God one sticks.
Well, you have the 24th pick now, too, right? Or the
20,
no, you have the
25.
25th.
So, I mean,
I'm sorry.
We've got
Yeah.
a lot stashed below. Something's got to develop. Something.
And Dallas, the Rangers, Anaheim, Flyers. Flyers have the last pick in the draft. How did the Flyers end up with the last pick in the draft? They traded with Florida.
Yeah, for
Did they?
Tippett, wasn't it? Wasn't that the Tippett trade? They got the
That was
2025 first.
That was a couple
but
of
they-
years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. I think they got the 2024 first or something like that. I could be wrong. Can't think of another trade it would have been. I could tell you in a second here.
So, Beard, the guy he's got going 30th to the Rangers was the one I the Bruins snagged.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't it maybe Claude Giroux going over with the first or something?
Oh, it
for
might have been
Tippett and
Giroux.
something?
Yeah, that might have been Giroux. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
when they made their that was okay. That makes sense.
I
If
would
you're
just came to my head.
yeah, okay. 2025 though. Okay. Yeah, Dean Letourneau is who he has going to the thing. Okay. Yeah.
No, well, that is the Tippett trade as well. They got Tippett for Giroux.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Man, they gave up Tippett and a first rounder for Giroux.
for yeah.
I think they're gonna regret that one. Like long term.
Yeah. I mean, Tippett, yeah, for sure, but it didn't work out for them. But yeah,
Okay.
it didn't work out because he didn't resign.
So we don't have.
I'm excited to see where Iginla gets drafted. That I'm pretty excited for because I know Kelowna traded him for I think a first and a second and another player this year. And I know Jerome Iginla lives in Kelowna with his wife, and they pretty much built a hockey facility for their kids there in Kelowna. And he's playing for the Rockets, and he's got over 80-something points in 40-something games as a 17-year-old. I'm going to be pretty interested in who takes him and how high he goes. I know you said he's projected at 4. I thought for sure top 10. 4 seems a little high, but I mean, the roots that this kid has, second generation black hockey player, which might be the first. I know Ted Nolan had kids, but that was the Ojibwe community, so I don't know.
Yeah, but he's also isn't Ted Nolan. Ted Nolan's First Nations, not black.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I meant it's sort of a second generation like Ojibwe. I think that might have been the first one with the Nolan family, but then second generation black player with Iginla was.
That wasn't
awesome
Jordan
to see.
Nolan on both Kings Stanley Cup teams, I thought. And then
Might be
I
right.
think he was also a black ace on the St. Louis Blues too when they won in 2019, I believe.
Now you got me wondering, is there any other second generation African American players?
Yeah, I've heard Tidge Iginla are all over the place.
So have I. Heard him down
Steven
as
said
far as
Bull
14
maybe depends on who
and
you talk to. He's a top flyer in many drafts, and there are a ton of people who think he's only scratching the surface in terms of his true potential. He did not dominate at the under 18s like many hoped, but he showed how deep his game can be. Again, is more than just a goal scorer. He works so hard. He can defend, and he has made a habit about it extremely difficult to play against. I think a lot of teams are looking for that now too, man. Like skill is skill, but I think a lot of teams now they're looking at guys who can play two ways in right away. You know, like in the NHL. I mean, you're seeing that being a huge factor. I mean, let's just face it. Florida has the best two-way player in the game right now in Barkov. And if you could see all over Twitter of him just ripping pucks off dudes. I saw that from Jack Eichel last year. Another reason I thought he should have been given consideration for the I don't like that points should not be the only deciding factor in the Conn Smythe. It just shouldn't. I know McDavid had 8 points in 2 games, but you know, how many of those points were like actual points that they needed? Because I know they were up big in one of those games, right? So
2 empty net.
I bet you McDavid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like McDavid would probably take the points back from those games and get some in Game 6 and Game 7, right? I mean, they didn't ultimately need it in Game 6, but bet he would have taken a point in Game 7 because that might be tied the game, right? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I sometimes feel like if you score 5 fucking points in a meaningless game where it's already have it won, and they're after the fact that, you know, I don't know. It was weird.
He is borderline elite defensively as well. So, I mean, so it's not just points with McDavid. I mean, he's borderline elite. And he's not Barkov. Barkov is elite, but he's up there. And considering his offense, that's pretty impressive. So,
yeah, I forgot. Never mind.
So Mitch Goff is leaving the KHL too to join the Flyers.
Yes,
so
yeah, thank you, Rico. Yeah,
well. No, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Rico. Since you brought it up, go ahead.
Oh, it's good, man. From St. Petersburg of the KHL, I think he had 1 more year or something to play there. But now his contract, 7th overall pick. We all remember that draft from last year as well too. So, I mean, he was signed in Russia through 2026. So this was the earliest he can come over. Talented forward. I mean, it's going to be pretty exciting to see him play in Philly. He's going to get a lot of opportunity there. So it's going to be exciting to see what he has to contribute to that team. I know Daniel Briere is pretty excited about it too. So yeah, I just thought it was good news. There's another, if you guys want to comment on it, there's another couple things that came up today in my feed as well too.
Sorry, guys. Well, while Perlo's looking for that information, let me
Michkov. No, I'm not looking for Michkov. Did you know that he's an amazing player, but he's only 148 pounds?
Eat a cheeseburger, dude.
148 pounds.
He will once he comes over here.
Yeah.
Here's Matthew Tkachuk finding his family on the ice. I thought this was cool.
I will own that man's autograph on the Game 5 puck.
Okay.
BU got 2 pucks signed by him, and the auction is November 6th.
Nice. Good. What is it going for?
Starting bid's $200, and it's a $50 increment.
Okay. What are you hoping you get it for?
If I can get it for under $6, I'm going to call it a good day.
Okay, nice. Okay.
I know I know one of them was used in Game 5. I both of them are going to be authenticated and signed by him. I don't know when the other puck, what game it is yet. I just know when the auction is, and I'm going to get one of those damn pucks.
Nice. Good luck, Mike. We know you're a big collector of memorabilia. Here comes Big Walt. And
he just got doused with beer too. I just see that one video where Matthew in the dressing room just dumped basically a full beer inside the cup all over his dad. It's awesome.
I absolutely love Keith Tkachuk. He was one of my favorite players growing up. I had a Keith Tkachuk Kachina jersey. I wished I still had it. Just
I saw him play live, man. At the Maple Leaf Gardens when Winnipeg Jets came to town. I remember I was just a kid, and I remember number 7 center for the Jets, and he was still pretty light because he was young then, so he was flying.
Yeah, he was in good shape when he was young.
Yeah.
He's not in good shape now. He's not in good shape now. Yeah, so free agency is the first. I'm not going to be able to be available for the first. Perlo and Rico can run a show. I'll be fishing on the first, barring some major change. I'll be fishing on the 1st of July, so I won't. I'll try to listen or check in on free agency from Chittenden, which is 5 hours away. But I normally don't get cell service there, but I'm on Verizon now, which I think works really well there, so I should be good. So I might be able to check in on stuff, but I won't be able to stream, guys. Even though I'm fishing in the afternoon, I won't be able to stream. So and that'll be it. And then when I'll get back, maybe on the 2nd, we'll do a recap of the free agency, just like a quick free agent recap on the 2nd of July. I know people probably got 4th of July plans. Mike, I'm sure you do. I don't here. 4th of July is the most worthless holiday in Alaska because it never gets dark. So, you just get pissed if somebody shoots fireworks off in the summertime because all it does is freak out the dogs. So I wanted to talk about the Hershey Bears winning their 13th Calder Cup. Caps, man. Like, I know the Hershey Bears have a lot of, guys that wouldn't be called up, but McElrath played for the Caps this year in the playoffs, and he captained the team to his second one in a row. Really impressive. David Strome and Pierre Dubé had a hat trick in the game, and Hendrix Lapierre, who the Capitals took a chance on with that injury, he would have went much higher, is tearing it up. He was the MVP, the playoff MVP for the AHL, and I think he'll be a full-time NHL guy next year, like his line mate last year's Connor McMichael was. So I think Hendricks is getting there. I think he's getting ready. Did you guys I wanted to watch the game, but obviously Game 7 it sucked. They were on the same time, so I didn't get to watch it.
I didn't get to watch it either. The College World Series of Baseball was on at the same time. The NHL Game 7, and then that was on. It's like, man.
I put the College Baseball World Series National Championship on, but I just had it there with a little bit of volume. I had the big screen. I had the big. I redid. I made a new stand for my TV, so I had the big screen back up, which I hadn't had it for most of the playoffs. So it was nice, man. It was really nice to watch the game, and I loved the game. I thought it was great. Oh, Catherine Craig! Shout out Catherine Craig. She's a regular from. Yes, I know, Catherine. They beat your monsters. Catherine's a Blue Jackets fan. She's a regular on Morning Cup of Hockey. It's so nice to have you, Catherine. Appreciate it. By the way, guys, we are killing it. We have 50, 60 people between Twitter and here. Really awesome to have. We have a few people, Logan and stuff on Instagram too. So we have some people on Insta. Appreciate you guys. Nobody on Twitch unless they chime in though.
Chris Stahl should be playing next year for Hershey too, right? That'll be fun to watch. Chris Stahl. Andrew Cristall. You picked him up. In,
the Capitals have him too. Yep. No, I know. Yeah,
he should be playing. He should be playing next year. He had 111 points in junior.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. The Capitals need some talent. And I'll tell you what, man, I'm excited with Carberry, man. It's going to be interesting to see this Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. I felt like we really didn't give anything up there. Kemper wasn't going to be the starter for us, and we didn't have to retain any salary. And, yeah, Dubois makes a lot. But, again, with Oshie and Backstrom gone, I mean, it's just a huge – and I love Dylan Strome, but I think at best he's a second-line center, let's just go through final thoughts. We're almost an hour here. You could talk about the Stanley Cup final, the draft. We'll be back Friday live, 7 p.m. Eastern for the draft. And then we'll do a recap show the week after, either the 2nd or the 3rd. I'll let you guys know just based on when I get back from fishing on free agency. I think also the longer free agency goes, I think we'll see a flurry of signings on the 1st, but I think it's going to get stretched out a little bit more, guys, just because of the Stanley Cup ending, and I don't think it's going to be as big a deal. So that's just my thing. I think I just have a feeling that this year won't be that free agent frenzy. Perlo, go ahead and kick it off with your we'll go clockwise.
Well, I just love this time of year. Somebody in the chat mentioned it. Was it Darkness or Ari? I think it was Ari who was talked about, like, you got draft coming up and you got free agency, and like this is almost my favorite time of the year. I love this time of year. So I'm pretty excited for it. I love the draft. I hope we see lots of trades, lots of movement. Free agency, like you said, yeah, it's pretty light out there for free agents. It's not really many huge, but we'll still see some movement, and it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So come in and join, because I'm going to be on for those. Those are my favorite, some of my favorite days of the year. So I spend all day with those free agency and draft days.
Yeah, I 100% too do. I love those days. I agree with you, Perlo. They're 100% my favorite of the year too. I love the whole GM mode of that's my favorite thing at NHL video games is doing the off-season stuff. The season is whatever. I just enjoy the moving of the chess pieces. So I agree with you. And guys, from here on out, I will always try to be. Was going to be at the draft this year, so I'm trying to get all that stuff in order and stuff. So I would have been, but fishing gets in the way, and I got to go get my fish. Fills my freezer. Trying to get in shape, man. Trying to keep my life alive for into my 60s. You know, I don't want to be dying. I want to take care of myself like as best I can. So Rico, give us your final thoughts.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say, but one thing I saw today that John Cooper is going to be coaching Canada at the Four Nations as well as the Olympics. So it'd be interesting cheering for John Cooper when he's usually behind the bench of the Lightning and not really cheering for John Cooper. So that'll be pretty interesting to see. But I know Edmonton and Florida, I think they're like co-favorites to win the Cup next year too. So this could very well happen again, which would be totally awesome. Apart from that, it's been great, man. It's been an awesome year hanging out with you guys and, you know, dissecting the games, talking about the games, everybody in the chat. It's been a blast. Thanks for keeping in touch with us as well too and watching the shows. So yeah, apart from that, yeah, we're still moving on during the summer, but not at the pace we were. But it'll be exciting leading into the draft. I know July 1st here in Canada, it's Canada Day, but Canada is usually about watching the Tragically Hip and eating mushrooms, and that's not happening either because I don't eat mushrooms anymore, and the Tragically Hip isn't the same band as they are anymore. So
is it tough when Gord Downie passed away like that? It's tough to go see him because he's not there.
Yeah, like that was a Canada Day staple, man. That's what we would do every year.
I love it, dude. It's like ketchup potato chips. They don't have them here in the States unless you go to like specialty. But they're in a gas station.
You don't have all dressed either, do you?
Yeah, we do.
You do have all dressed? Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, at least in Mass in New York, you can get them just about anywhere.
I thought maybe it didn't. Yeah, I don't know why.
I think it's regional because I don't know what you're talking about. I'll say this, but Alaska, we don't have a lot of what everybody has.
All dressed is everything like dill, like everything all mixed up into one.
Oh yeah, we've got those. That actually sounds awesome. Yeah. I think you got to get them at a specialty shop though too. Rico, I loved your final thoughts, man, and I hope you guys enjoy your Canada Day. Perlo and Rico are two Canadian members of the show. Mike, go ahead and give us your final thoughts. And
I mean, thank you for letting me jump on mid-season. To everyone in the chat, obviously I'm more of a college guy. And the Bruins will not make the playoffs next season. There's my hot take to start this year off.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe a key.
I hope I'm wrong. But That's my prediction.
Dude, that Atlantic's a meat grinder, though. I wouldn't be totally shocked, but we'll see. Maybe they get in. Okay, occupancy. Give us your final thoughts.
Yeah, mostly just, happy to be on the channel here with Beard Sports and everyone here. And hockey's the best sport. NHL's the best league, so it's all good here. Couple talk, points on the NHL. DeMello also signed a big deal with the Jets.
Yeah. It was kind of
he resigned with the Jets. Wow.
Yeah, 14 or four
the Jets, Carlo.
4-year, $20 million extension.
$5 million a year.
Extension. Dylan DeMello. He already plays for the Jets.
I know. I said he re-signed with the Jets because I
Today.
heard he was going to touch the market. So
No.
good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Where'd they get him at?
20
And
million.
Middlestat.
And Middlestat signed a deal too. Yeah, thank you, Rico. Catherine Craig made me laugh in the chat. She says Corpy for Vesna because obviously she's a Blue Jackets fan. She's gonna love Korpisalo. Watch Korpisalo have an incredible freaking year, and Allmark get lit the F up. Ottawa and Brady Tkachuk demands a trade. I don't wish that on you, Ottawa Senators fan. I'm just saying, like, it never seems to go right in Ottawa. Yeah, Dylan DeMello, it's 4.9 million average per load. Yeah. So, and then the other deal, I don't know if they officially announced it, but 4-year deal for the kid from Buffalo.
3-year for Middlestat, 5.75 a year.
Thank you, Rico. 3-year, 5.75 for Casey Middlestat. So, yeah, I agree with you.
No, you guys are good. I mean, DeMello, I was looking, he was number 2 in the whole NHL in plus minus at a plus 46. So he deserved that payday. When I'm looking at defensemen,
his underlying numbers are insane, dude. He's so underrated. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, just looking at like defense, I mean, Gus Forsling, shout out to him, plus 56 on the NHL regular season. That's awesome. Number 1 there. Look, like Wallman, he was a -2 all season, 63 games. That's not even in the top 500. I know Perlo was high on him, but I don't see it. I think it's a hype play. He's skilled. I think he's all right, but I ultimately think San Jose is just looking for any hype they can get. For the draft,
they need depth too, right? I mean, they just need depth. They need pros.
Yeah,
they can't field a team of 18-year-olds.
Well, maybe Gaudreau will be the leadership in the room, maybe.
Well, and aren't they trying to move Ferraro?
Maybe. We'll see. But I mean, look, he's talented. I'm just saying that, I don't know if he's gonna, lock it down and bring him to the playoffs, but we'll see. The draft, the 2 guys I got my eye on, Michkov and Demidov, just making the statement here that Ska, Akbars, these teams would compete with the Duck Sharks, Blackhawks. I mean, those teams are legit. I mean, they're getting professional talent out there, and this Michkov kid and this Demidov kid, if they come in and play right away, look, Columbus. We got a Columbus fan in the chat, right? Marchenko is a Ska alumni. Chinikov, I think he played over there as well. Voronkov was on Akbars. So, I mean, look, these guys have pro skills. So it's going to be interesting to see, what the top. Oh, Friday, a couple days, we'll be showing it here.
Yeah, we'll be live for the draft, guys. So we appreciate it. I know there'll be 100 million shows for you to choose from. We're just going to be more of a fan reaction type show. But look, Perlo spends a lot of time looking at these kids. Mike is a big college guy, and he watches a ton of college and knows his stuff. Occupancy and Rico are diehard fans too, man. And I'm just here to steal the wheel and guide us a little bit. Oh, we have it. Hey, we have a Twitch question. Have an interesting question for this panel regarding hockey, and then I'm going to take off for the night. Darksage 9117, ask your question. Appreciate you being on the Twitch. Go ahead and ask your question. If it's something crazy, won't be able to answer it, but ask away, man. Ask away about ask your hockey question.
Say Avi Sweeney is already in the works with trying to get Zegras over. The issue has been what we want to give up, and they're not happy with it right now.
The chatter I heard was Zegras to the Rangers. That's what I just heard.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen, but the Bruins have been working it, but it's not going far.
Okay, who would you do? We can't end the show. We cannot end the show. It's so funny. Who would you do?
You brought this up now? My gosh, if you're gonna end
I know it's like, but I almost don't feel bad because we have almost 20 people watching us Twitter. We have 24 here in the YouTube. We got a lot of people watching.
I got so much to say now. I want to answer occupancy on this freaking thing. I guess we can do that off.
Answer occupancy.
Is Justin Hall a good defenseman occupancy?
I don't know. What was his plus minus?
That's I don't understand why people worry about plus minus so much. He was plus 8.
Oh, you need to for
a horrible defenseman. He's horrible. Plus minus is the worst.
Plus minus factors in more for a defenseman.
The worst stat in hockey. It's the worst stat in hockey. Anyways, sorry, I wanted to mention it.
No, I get. I mean, what stat would you think is better than Perla? What's your go-to stat?
I go into analytics that they don't talk about in yet. Yeah. One day they will, hopefully someday. Yeah, it's a little bit of Corsi, a little bit of that. It's a whole mess up of a whole lot of stuff. But plus minuses, it doesn't really tell you all that much very often.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a big question here. One thing I love in sports today is how the media never admits when they are wrong or spins a narrative just to justify their story. The media thinks fans are always wrong, and they have no clue what they're talking about. Has there ever been a time in your years watching hockey when you wanted the media journalists to admit they were wrong, but never did and kept trying to blame fans or spin a narrative? Oh, this year alone for me, Dark Sage, there is a certain radio show that I listen to in Toronto. One of the co-hosts is xenophobic, hates Russian players. It's especially one, Alexander Ovechkin. So, and I hate how he makes it sound like Ovechkin is the reason Russia invaded Ukraine. It's an absolute joke. He's a hockey player, and in my opinion, if you speak out against the Russian government now, the way they're run, you put your life and your family's life at risk. And guy has a big family, and so I'm not naming the player, but we all know who it is. So I just and this guy's on the radio. He's an influential guy in Canada. So, but I would say this. I think you get a lot of bias, like local beat writers, like Larry Brooks. Tim Peel was bragging about how Larry Brooks blocked him on Twitter. By the way, did you see that? Did you see that,
dude? I was just gonna bring that up. Bring that up. What a loser comment. This type of stuff is exactly why coaches and players can't stand you, to Larry Brooks, because he said Jeremy Roenick and neither McGillney or Eliash, members of the Hall of Fame selection committee, should resign in disgrace. And Tim Peel got blocked by Larry Brooks. Well, that's Tortorella's Brooksy, eh?
Well, so that's Tortorella's Brooksy.
Remember Brooksy?
But Tim. Yeah. I remember it. I can never forget it. You guys can Google all-time Tortorella rants. But yes, Brooks is not liked. I've heard Phil Esposito bomb Brooks. Like, Brooks is not liked. Larry Brooks for the New York Post is a well-known New York Rangers beat writer. He is not liked in the hockey community. I said so. Some guy in Canada responded to that. He goes, Brooks is basically Spectre. I said, Brooks makes Spectre look like Bill Shakespeare. I mean, I think Spectre is actually not a terrible writer. I mean, he's very opinionated there, and he's there in Edmonton, correct? Perlo, isn't Spectre an Edmonton guy?
Yeah.
And we hear about Steve Simmons too.
Spectre's just really well liked. Brooks is actually trying to get under people's skin. Spectre's just inaccurate a lot.
Don't you think Steve Simmons does that too, Rico?
Simmons is horrible.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
horrible.
he gets people activated on Twitter. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that from him. He's one of those guys. Anyway, so I appreciate your question. I if anybody else has an example for Dark Sage, go ahead, then we'll call it a show, and we'll see you guys Friday. Nobody?
We're
Okay.
dropping the Zegers conversation till later, I guess. We'll do that
No.
on Friday.
Yeah, do Zegers now, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I wouldn't take Zegers. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole.
Well, we knew that about you, Pro.
Yeah,
You're not telling us anything we know. And anybody new to the channel probably knew that.
I think Zegers just needs to show a little more maturity, a little more consistency, that he can just basically stay healthy and stay level-headed. And it's too soon to trade for Zegers because you're probably going to lose that trade. He needs to become a good player in the right situation. But I could see him being a Broadway guy in New York. You want to be flashy, come to New York. This is what you asked for. You know, Panarin did it, and look how good Panarin's doing now. So I think you wait on Zegers a little bit.
I don't see the Bruins doing it for sure. If they couldn't handle Sagan,
hey,
they certainly can't handle Zegers.
If there's one team that can basically level off this guy, it's Boston. I mean, that's a tight locker room, a good leadership, you know. I mean, if there is a team that can straighten somebody out.
He's not disliked in the locker room. Pat Verbeek doesn't like him.
Yeah, because he's clueless in most aspects of the game. That's why.
The comparison I think about when I think about Zegers is Jarvis. You put Jarvis with a couple older guys, look what happens. Jarvis is one of the best point producers, you know, in the playoffs for that Carolina team.
And pretty good two-way player too.
And a pretty good two-way player. So I think you get Zegers with the right, you know.
Zegers on Carolina?
Something like that. Yeah. I just think he needs to be with the right line mates.
I agree. Well, you're giving up on a guy who's like 22 years old, Perlo. I mean, not that old.
Yeah. They brought in veterans there for a reason, and it's not just for Beek. It's more than just for Beek. Beek's not just going to say that. They brought in veterans for a reason. And
well, you need veterans on every team, though, don't you think?
He's so far away from being the type of player I'd want on my team. I just wouldn't take the risk. Put it that way. Maybe he can change, I suppose. But I mean, he's clueless in three zones. He doesn't understand the defensive concept of the game whatsoever, and doesn't even seem to care. So if you can get him to change that, I suppose.
Well, I feel like a lot of this assessment is out the window because he spent the majority of the year injured this year. Like he was hurt basically the whole year. He didn't get camp. They had the contract. They couldn't get his contract stuff situated. I feel like there were some circumstances beyond his control here this year. And I like to see another year from him before I make a thing. So on that note, I think it's a good time to end the show. We don't need to ever hear from you again on Zegers, Perlo, because we all are aware of your stance on him. So he's on first team all Perlo. That's for sure. All right. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you to Steve Duncan, aka Perlo, Rico Moran, aka Rico, and Barry, our French correspondent / beer league, Mike, the man, our degenerate Bostonian, and occupancy, our friend Teddy, and San Jose for now. And then it's going to be Switzerland, right?
That's the plan.
Soon. All right. I bet you miss your wife. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. We had a lot of people, and I really appreciate everybody coming around. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you.